Welcome again. I feel like we should have played the Whitest House again. I feel like that should. Am I saying that because it's my song? That should
Yeah,
be
you
my.
are. I mean, I like the record.
Where are you at, Farouk? You like in the white supremacists got you and threw you in the closet, my brother? Where you?
Man,
Where you?
you sound like the feds, nigga. You sound like the feds.
Oh, where you at? Yeah, that's true. No, that's real. Like right now, we can't tell where black people's at.
Why?
All of us.
Nigga ask me why, and I'm like, why?
Every black person in the city, we're in undisclosed locations. Don't worry about where we are.
I'm in my.
That sounds like a VLAD question.
Oh, that is right. He said VLAD. That's a Vlad question. Yeah. You know, did you see where the DJ Vlad put out there like if you were in the Capitol, people was like, yo, the feds really working. They got Vlad on the case. Wow. Vlad gonna get all the information. But welcome again. This week with White Supremacy. I am one of your hosts, Jasiri X. I am the co-founder, CEO of One Hood Media. Man like Saeed, you want to introduce yourself?
Don't know. Man like Saeed with the shades, like white supremacy. I don't know how to behave.
Miracle, you got the black flag. I like that, Miracle. I like that.
There's a flag. It's there. I guess the Wonder Twins are just not a thing anymore, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm here. I'm Miracle. And I'm just gonna be holding it.
Holding it down for the Wonder Twins. The one.
The one. It's okay.
One is the loneliest number that you ever seen.
I'm Treble NLS. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling secondhand sadness from the split of the Wonder Twins.
Oh wow!
I don't know how to handle myself anymore. You know?
Yeah. It's
we'll have a joyous reconciliation.
Yes. One day you all will come back. When we're past all of this drama. It's funny because it seems like maybe does the news? I don't know. It's like does the news know we're about to go live on our show? Last week
they just be alley-ooping us, bro.
Oh my God!
It's Lob City, man. It's Lob City.
Yeah. Last week we went live right as the Capitol Riot was happening. We're a week removed. We're definitely going to get into a lot. There's a lot of stuff that has came out about the Capitol Riot, but it just came down the pike that Trump was impeached again for the second time. I believe this is the first president ever get impeached twice. And so I just really want to start by saying, like, how do y'all feel about it? Do you think that it'll change anything? What is your reaction to Trump? I mean, I guess it was 10 Republicans that they said that voted to impeach alongside of the other folks. How do y'all feel?
I mean, isn't he always the first one to say, I'm the first one to do this, the first one to do that? Like, yeah, nigga.
He's breaking records out here. You know what I'm saying?
Add this presidency to cap, eh?
Take that.
This is why you got to be very specific when you pray. And with your manifestations, you got to be very specific and detailed because he wanted to win bigly and be legendary. And here he is, the white supremacist president, impeached twice.
I think he took the code of, like, if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it a little too seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's funny because, like, Trump is just such, like, he's such a gangster. You know what I mean? Like, he'll be able to, like, he's gonna try to spin this, and it's just like, they try to impeach me twice, like on some Teflon Don shit. Like, they couldn't get me the first time. You know what I mean? So he's gonna come around. Like, yeah, it's just, to me, it's too little, too late. That's how I feel about it. Like, this shit should have been happening 4 years ago. Like, we should have banned him from Twitter 4 years ago. We should have had these. He was incendiary when he came into the office, and then it's just because enough people were getting money behind this. They didn't want to see him go, but now he's fucking up everybody's money. So now Trump got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you on some case. I mean, it was folks like, voices like ours. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it was people that look like us, black women that was really calling for, before the first time he was impeached, calling for, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats to kind of say, like, look, all this foolishness he was doing, all these laws he was breaking. And it was kind of like he was just being allowed to do it, like you said, because, like, the media's making, anytime Trump acts crazy, folks is watching, folks are looking, and it just seemed like the Democrats didn't want to take a stand. And finally, they impeached him the first time, and he just got more emboldened. And I think like this is what happens when you have somebody that like and this is like what white supremacy does. Like white supremacy, the mentality is that these white people feel like they're above the law. I mean, these white people literally ran, like they planned the insurrection online with their names. You know what I'm saying? Their names and their tags and all that stuff. And then come to find out that Parler had like no security whatsoever. That like just the average hacker can go into Parler and get all their information when you signed up, because I guess it was like on a WordPress or some crazy thing like that. So it was like, that's how brazen it was. And then went in there. Remember, we're in a pandemic where you can actually wear a mask. Like wearing a mask isn't like a bad thing, but these white people are so crazy that like wearing a mask is somehow like an emasculine thing. Like I don't want to wear a mask. And so like that's how brazen white supremacy is. Like you can go up in there and without a mask and feel like you're not going to be held accountable for your actions. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like Trump fostered that belief, because all the wild shit and the bullshit and the laws that he break, even just putting his daughter up there, his son-in-law up there. I mean, he started from the gate with real lawlessness. You know what I'm saying? And I think like for him to do that, I mean, his white followers just follow suit and began to do all of these things in line. And so, right, I do feel like, it's not. I mean, impeaching him now, like, what does that mean? And I don't know.
Scared that he's going to run again and win. That's what it is. Like they're afraid that he's going to run again and win in 2024. So they're trying to keep him, trying to convict and trying to keep him from any, future presidential candidacy or seatage. I don't know what the correct terminology is for that, but still though, it's just like, his followers are so deep. He rolls so deep. Like you kind of got to cut the snake off from the head. And I guess that's what they're trying to do now. I guess but to me, all of this shit, it's performative, man. It's too little, it's too late. It's symbolism over substance, as the series says. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But fuck it.
I feel like we literally witnessed the Trump mentality take somebody's life. And before I say this, it is a little bit of a hot take, but Trump got people feeling so emboldened that they feel bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? We seen an example of Karen and going wrong because Trump got these motherfuckers feeling like they're invincible to COVID, they're invincible to the law, and apparently invincible to guns too. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. I mean, I didn't think about it like that, but that is like somebody just like, right, his co-arm is like, right. I mean, but just like you said, if you somebody Trump is so lawless, and even in the face of, when Trump was asked, do you take responsibility, for what happened? He was like, people listened to my speech. Nothing was wrong with my speech. Like, I mean, he took no responsibility. And so like, even after he did the whole, sort of concession, but didn't really concede. But then when he spoke, and this is to me, if you could cue that video up, John, of this was Trump in San Antonio. Yeah, he went to the Alamo, he went to San Antonio, and this was Trump actually talking about the possibility of him being impeached, and the possibility of them using the 25th Amendment on him. If you can just listen to this, real quick. Go ahead, John.
Before we begin, I'd like to say that free speech is under assault like never before. The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me, but will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration. As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for. The impeachment hoax is a continuation of the greatest and most vicious witch hunt in the history of our country. And
Witch hunt.
Tremendous anger and division and pain, far greater than most people will ever understand, which is very dangerous for the USA, especially at this very tender.
Who styles his hair? That's what I want to know.
No, but I'm saying like, bro, for real. I mean, that's a question. But I feel
it's like a perfect. You get me?
But like after what we just saw, I mean, like that's a threat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Trump is basically saying like, yo, man, like I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't really understand the pain. You don't really understand the anger. And this is after we saw, you know, the violence take place. This is after, you know, we hear about violence being planned in all 50 states. And so I don't like you said, I mean, just going back, I don't think impeachment is enough. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that that's all, I mean, you know, impeachment, he's still got the nuclear codes. He's still the president. You know what I'm saying? He can still do wild. I mean, he still, you know, has a bully pulpit and could go speak and say and do wild shit and direct his followers to do wild shit. And I just, you know, particularly with what we've seen. I mean, you know, what we found out that, you know, there were people, you know, the Capitol Police chief said he called for backup and they said no. You know what I'm saying? So like we saw, obviously there were people on the inside of the Pentagon that didn't want, you know, military or folks. I mean, we seen pictures of the National Guard sleeping inside of the Capitol now, which is kind of wild. But the National Guard, you know, Maryland's National Guard was ready to go. It was all these people that was ready to go. But people in the Pentagon said, no, we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We seen, you know, these people, you know, getting arrested with zip ties. And, you know, we heard that, you know, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley said that the panic buttons in her office was disabled, that she had used these panic buttons before, that that for some reason the panic buttons were disabled in her office. You know, we saw, you know, Clyburn talk about the fact that people didn't know where his office was. You know what I'm saying? But somehow they found it. There's video that I saw where they're actually talking about the floor plan because, you know, these white people, how brazen that they were, went, you know, they were live streaming and they were talking about, no, you turn right here, you go here. They had a floor plan. Obviously, you're going to run up in the Capitol if you have a floor plan. And so I just, to the fact that, you know, this isn't, it's seeming like on one hand, it's not really a big, I think it should be a much bigger deal than kind of how it's playing out. Or am I tripping?
You know, it's to me, it looks like the same as white people rioting over college football games, over sporting events. This is part and parcel. Like, this is like the pathology of what they do. It always looks the same. And it seems like they're treating it that way. It's just a whole bunch of people who took some time off of work, took a trip down to Washington, D.C. for the holiday weekend or whatever it was, and said, you know what, we're going to mash up the Capitol just like we would if the Washington Senators or somebody won it or something like that, and then go home just to find out, you can't because you're on a no-fly list because you're a fucking terrorist. Now you know how I feel.
Oh, shit.
I was going not laughing at Fruit's pain whatsoever. But I was going to say,
I always get randomly selected.
Because you don't smile at the people, Fruit. I told you this. But what I was saying was, a part of this is this idea that like white people are innocent, white people are meek and mild, despite the fact that they were planning to kidnap and assault the governor of Michigan, despite the fact that a couple of years ago, it was the same people who shot the elected official in Arizona, despite the fact that there have been multiple bombing attempts, multiple threats placed on elected officials' lives.
We just had the guy in Nashville blow up.
But we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like, this was a planned insurrection, and I believe that somebody cooperated at the last minute because they were like, you know what? I really don't want to see this go down. If you know anything about security, war, whatever, they had multiple distractions. They had a group of previous military people hitting specific targets. They had plans, they had demands, and they said that they were going to stop the count of the certifying of the election. This wasn't just a group of people who got like taken up on, you know, a Sunday and decided to go storm the Capitol to have a revolution. There were officers who are working inside. There were officers who are working. There were people who gave stand down orders. This is a very coordinated attack. Absolutely. I think part of it is that people don't want to have fear because no one knows what to do because we don't know who the enemy is. And the second thing is we just keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. First, it was, a bunch of poor white people took over the Capitol. Then it was like, okay, a bunch of working class people upset about COVID-19 restrictions took over the Capitol. Now it's, oh, CEOs, lawyers, doctors, upper class people, sons and daughters of prominent judges took over the Capitol. And it keeps changing and changing because nobody wants to be, okay, a bunch of white supremacist terrorists took over the Capitol and almost succeeded.
No, I think you make a great point because, and that makes it different than kind of the football analogy that, like you said, like it was a army psyop officer that was there that was like led 100 people into the Capitol. There was like, you know, the Joint Chiefs of Staff had to put out a statement, I believe it was today or yesterday, to remind people in the army that they are supposed to be defending the Constitution. I mean, here the Joint Chief of Staff had to say, like, we have to remind you because there were so many military people, like you mentioned, you know, Karen Gone Wrong, Treble. That was somebody that came out of the Air Force. You know what I'm saying? The other guy that had the zip cuffs in his hands, he was from the Air Force. You know what I'm saying? You had, you know, Yahoo put an article out that said, surprise, surprise, a whole bunch of these people are off-duty police officers. You know what I'm saying? Police officers, you know, the guy who had the fire extinguisher that they're saying supposedly beat the Capitol police officer to death had a Chicago Fire Department hat on. Not saying that he was a part of that, but that was his hat because I guess he hasn't been identified yet. So this was very cool. I think to think like that, Miracle, it, just like you said, it becomes scary. To think like, yo, people really went in there. This was a coordinated effort. These were people that do this. These are militia. They train. They're part of the army. You know, the dude that got arrested from Nashville that had the zip cut. I mean, he's fully armored down. He had a taser on his side. You know what I'm saying? These are people that go through these different trainings for this moment. And obviously, if you got zip ties, you tying somebody up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to force somebody to do something. Or you got a taser. You're going to make somebody do something. And I think that makes it scarier to think like, oh, okay, just like the guys in Michigan, these were militia. They were practicing. They had a plan. And, you know, just like maybe somebody at the last minute told on them, but they was told on, they didn't get a chance to, you know, kidnap this governor, but they wanted to. And so like, if at what moment, like, does America or is it like, can a country that was built on white supremacist terrorism actually take white supremacy terrorism seriously? Because without white supremacist terrorism, there would be no America. You know what I'm saying? And so does America go out like America came in with white supremacy terrorism and violence?
I mean, you know, the Queen called George Washington a terrorist. The Crown called, you know, them insurrectionists and terrorists.
I mean, of course, but they were rebelling against the Crown. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, but that's just to substantiate your point. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the inception of the United States of America is based off white supremacy and terrorism. You know, and so what this was, you know, I just want to clarify my point. Like, this was a purge. You know what I mean? I think what I was trying to say was white people treated this shit like they were just going to get away with it the same way they will be burning a couch because the team lost. They really didn't think any recompense was waiting for them on the other end of it. That's why, you know, they were just so free to gallivant because they had the privilege all the way up to taking a private jet to it to say, oh, you know what, I could do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna be able to come here, steal the Capitol, pose on Instagram, get these likes, take pictures with police, do all these things with no fallout. That's why I say, you know, because when they do that same shit over a football game, there's literally no fallout. The most that ever gets done is some community service, and even then, your dad writes that off on a check.
Right. So, did y'all want to talk about? I know, you know, normally we do a Terry Crews of the week, and normally it's a black person, but I guess it was an Indian. Are we sure? What'd you say?
Kim Katie said, white supremacist domestic terrorists leading people who want to live the live action role play Call of Duty. LARPers. That's funny. That's funny.
And just because it seems like we may be having some interruptions on this Facebook, we're also streaming live on our YouTube page. So if we keep getting interrupted, I don't know. Listen, because you argued and was mad about, you know, being screened on the plane, you always get us canceled for work. But just in case if that happens, we're also streaming live on YouTube.
So you said we're gonna talk about the man who organized it, Jasiri?
Listen.
Is he on Terry Crews? See on Terry
You
Crews right
know-
there, man.
Oh, he can't hear us. He lost the sound. I
You
don't
know,
know.
diversity. You know, we've been fighting for diversity, and how important it is to have diversity of thoughts and representation. You know what I mean? Then to just be the face of the people who led the coup. I don't know.
You know, I guess white, you know, as I say, black people, brown people uphold the tenets of white supremacy better than some white people do sometimes. You know, and that's why we had a show. You know, that's why we had a show.
I mean, I don't know. He is a biracial person. He is Black and Indian. He started Stop the Steal. Oh, wait, now I can't hear. And I'm back. He started Stop the Steal to target Florida elections, and somehow it led to people taking the Capitol. But I also want to say, like, he literally said he would put out stuff just to see if it would get traction. So people also knew he was lying the whole entire time.
I mean, this is when trolling gets lethal.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand that this troll shit, you know, has serious real world consequences. Just here, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
But
now we
I
can.
can hear you.
There we go.
What the trolling? I mean, but is it trolling? I mean, because I mean, the videos I've seen, he seemed like he was believing this Stop the Steal. It's not like, I don't know. He didn't seem to come across as I mean, he is a former felon. You know, I don't know. Maybe he was profiled.
He just wants money. He's raised over $100,000, and it's kind of like, I mean, if people are going to be stupid and commit felonies and give him money, then, you know.
But but now is he responsible for this? Is he going to get arrested? If he said he planned it, it was his brainchild. There's a video of him saying he was telling people to chant victory or death. Like at the rally the night before, chanting victory or death. Like, that's not trolling to me. That now it might be grifting. Like, I feel you, Miracle. It may be like, yo, I can get money off these crazy white folks. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the brothers, you know, the young brothers that had the table out, the young black dudes that had the Trump hoodies, and they was like, look, I'm here to get money off these dumb white people. I'm selling these hoodies for $100 and I'm using it to pay my college. But this seemed more insidious because he, you know, he not only got money, he got like access to Donald Trump. He got, you know, they said he was part of, Donald Trump had a social media, I guess, social media people at the White House. He was at the White House. He's
friends with Jack
from Twitter.
Friends with Jack from Twitter, and he's talking.
I look at him the same way I look at 6ix9ine. Like, I look at him the same way I look at 6ix9ine.
No, but I see. To me, I push back to you because like, people, well, 6ix9ine did, you know, get people hurt. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with you. But this is something. I mean, this dude, like I said, this dude is yelling victory or death. This dude, it is whack that he's in hiding now. Like, if you really stand by your beliefs, like, come out and stand with your people, bro. Come out, like
victory or death, right?
Right, do jail with your people, right? How you say victory or death one night, and then when everybody start getting like, maybe it's like 6ix9ine.
Right, if you notice,
this is snitching. On everybody.
No, hold on. The funniest thing is, if you notice, when they're raiding the Capitol, he's up at some building on a balcony. He's not even down there riding with us. That's what I'm saying. He's trolling, bro. He's trolling. Look at these people. But also, can we point out that a lot of those folks had COVID and were actively knowing that they had COVID, and so when they were running into the Capitol, they were just like spreading it around. And so, like, if they get arrested, they're going to be going to jails where there are Black and brown people who can't make bail because of cash bail, and now they're actually going to be harming more people if they get arrested for what they're doing. So this is just insidious on so many levels, and this is why, again, I want to talk about this being planned, because they did a physical attack, and I would also say a biological attack, because they had the intention of mass spreading COVID-19 around the country.
Herd immunity. Maybe herd immunity was their end game. They were trying to expedite the vaccine. Like, the vaccines ain't working. We'll save the country. That's what they were thinking.
But I don't know if y'all, you know, I lost sound for a second. I don't know if y'all, and I guess Facebook is, I don't know, maybe we're too political for Facebook right now. You know what I'm saying? If we do go down on Facebook, you can go to YouTube, One Hood Media, if we still up over there. But is it like, did y'all talk about the fact that he planned it with these other congressmen? Like 6ix9ine, like he named these 3 other congressmen that he planned. Like you said, this is Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona, Mo Brooks of Alabama, and Paul Gozer of Arizona. Now they said that Andy Biggs is trying to act like he don't know this dude.
Of course, it's plausible deniability.
Paul Gozer is doing, rallies with this dude. And the wild part, Mo Brooks of Alabama, he's kind of awesome. Like, yeah, I did it. So what? And that's the wild part. I
would expect Alabama to say that. That's the response I would expect from Alabama.
But literally, he's like, I ain't gonna apologize. Then you had, I think this woman is from Colorado. What's the woman's name from Colorado? Miracle Lauren something, where they specifically said, don't tweet anything because it's a security breach, like it's a breach of security. And she's out there tweeting like, yo, the Speaker of the House just left the chamber. Like, are you trying to tell somebody where this woman is? So we know how they feel about Nancy Pelosi and like, are you trying to tell somebody? Like, so, she's, it's, but right now, none of these congressmen had to face any repercussions. This is why I just believe it's going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And I believe it's going to get worse because, like, so far Trump hasn't had to deal with any consequences. Really, I don't see impeachment as a real consequence. And
here's
none
the
of
question.
these Congress people that helped plan this shit. Here's the main dude you helped plan this shit having to face any real consequences. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question. This is kind of for everybody and for the comments to weigh in. Let's say this goes past the impeachment. They bring up real charges against Donald Trump. Does he have enough money to fight off the United States government? Like, can
I
he?
hope not.
Can he?
I hope this nigga go under the jail.
But can he tie this up in litigation for long enough because he got enough money to say and you just basically play golf? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's
because the feds don't play.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're gonna go to our legal correspondent.
Oh no, God!
Tell us about the legal ramifications. Miracle, please.
No,
legally.
Because the feds have a 95% conviction rate. The feds do not play, because they gonna have all those recordings. Because listen, Trump admits all the stuff that he does on tape. Giuliani was on those recordings, calling people, leaving the wrong number, leaving voice messages on journalists' phones. They've admitted their whole entire strategy. They've admitted that they were just trying to do delayed stuff. They know that the election wasn't stolen. So they've admitted all this stuff. There's so much evidence. I think that the Biden administration, out of unity, is going to pardon. We'll do a full pardon.
Weeks ago. I said that weeks ago on the show. I said Biden's going to pardon Trump.
I think it's going to happen. Everybody.
Hey, Miracle. I'm saying, like, look, if Crime Bill Biden,
pardon Trump.
Somebody called her cop Mala.
Kamala and Crime Bill Biden are not putting white people in prison.
But this is what I'm saying.
Putting white people in prison.
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I'm saying to you,
for protection.
Yes,
it's not.
What I'm saying to you, if they do that, I am like, we got to come up with another party like Miracle. If Biden pardons Trump, like, to me, that is that's unforgivable. Like, I got to do something else. I can't rock with y'all. I'm out. Miracle, I'm out.
I just want the record to show that I said this shit on the podcast weeks ago.
Well, maybe if you claim me as my twin, maybe I would give you credit. Since you're not going to, I'm going to say maybe they'll do like a full immunity. They'll get all these black people out of jail and prison and just be like, since we're going to let these black people out, we're also going to forgive all these. I don't see Biden going. I don't see Trump going to jail because Trump said I can shoot somebody. Trump said I can shoot somebody and people will still love me. It doesn't matter what he does. There are fanatics. It is a cult. People like his power, and there will be people trying to free him. There will be people trying to shoot up the courthouse, all type of stuff. I think they're going to do all this abolition talk, all this reconciliation talk. Somehow, magically, it's going to manifest in this situation, and that's what's going to happen.
What if he pardoned Lil Wayne and Kodak before he leaves?
Free me, free Larry Hoover.
Listen.
No, I mean, I'm sorry.
Free Kodak, man. Free Kodak for sure.
No, bro. I mean, look, I don't want to see no other black people in jail. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I mean, I just can't. I mean, yeah, it's inconceivable to me that Biden and Kamala would pardon Donald Trump. Like, hey, you gotta do Mumia. You gotta do every single political prisoner that we got as black. If you gonna
100%, 1,000%,
you gotta do all of them. You know what I'm saying?
And then we need reparations. And then we need reparations.
And then give us our damn reparations. Other than that, man, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't. But
I don't know.
like
I think if he did pardon Trump, it would give us kind of like leverage to organize. You know what I'm saying? It's like you disrespected us, bro. It'll light a fire like no other. You know what I'm saying?
That to me,
all like I don't want that fire. Be in jail.
Yeah, to me that sounds like that.
We will be in jail.
See, I'm sorry. I'm one who wants the smoke. I always want the smoke.
Yeah, so but I mean,
this FBI man is writing that down right now.
Look, I agree with Kim.
He said he
I agree with Kim. You can't tell me y'all did all this crime bill prosecuting stuff, and then like this rich, entitled, white supremacist, violent asshole, you gonna let him off? Like that would be the ultimate. Like white supremacy, white privilege. That'd be you couldn't get nowhere. Do all this. It's damn near 400,000 people dead of COVID because of this motherfucker.
Yeah,
I agree with Miracle. Do I think he's going to jail? I don't. You know what I'm saying? But you at least try. You know what I'm saying? At least put some charges on this. Do I expect to see Donald Trump in jail? No. But if you pardon this man after this, I might walk around randomly smacking folks. Like, nah, man, you ain't.
Yeah,
man.
Like,
I'm sorry. What you gonna put me in jail for? Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. And like I said, I'm probably naive. That would be crazy, man.
What Jess's comment said. I had said on here a few times, and Jasiri said it, Miracle said it, Trouble said it. Joe Biden is no less of a white supremacist than Donald Trump. He's not.
Just stop trying to be truthful and make me madder. That's making me madder with your comment. It's true though. Damn you, Jess.
I mean, it's the truth though. It's really the truth, man.
Where's Orlando when we need him? Where's Orlando at?
Right? Where has he been? Like
Orlando went down to the Capitol and got arrested.
Oh, shit.
Orlando's gone. Wookie's gone. It's just
no. Wookie was
Orlando was out here with his MAGA hat. Orlando was out here with his MAGA hat, man.
Oh no, but you're right. I mean, I think Jess, you're right. Like they do. Like Trump and Biden got more in common, definitely, than with us. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Everybody on this podcast. So you're right in the sense that he probably can relate to that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
They both old entitled white dudes. You know what I mean?
That's 100%.
Wookie, you're back. Yeah.
Wookie been in the chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Did you want to talk about? I know one of the things that really bothered you, Miracle, was the fact that while this was going on, and all of these Congress people had to be, cordoned off in the same room. It was Republicans that refused to put their mask on. And now we have a series of Democratic Congress people that got COVID from these Republicans that even though they were inside and in a closed area would not put on a mask. Now, I know that there's some stuff around like now they're going to fine you or whatever. Is there any recompense for some of these Congress people? Like, you gave me COVID. Can I do something? Can I sue you?
No, because white supremacy is just trash. And let people do dumb stuff like this. So for those of you who do not know, when the stuff in the chamber was happening, all of the elected officials and their staff had the option to go to a safe space which is some undisclosed place in the Capitol. And some of the Republicans, including one of the elected officials from my home state of Georgia, refused to be masked up, were allegedly COVID positive. A Black woman from New York, I think her name was Lisa, may not be her name. She was trying to give people masks, right? Like, here, put a mask on. We're going to be here for a couple hours. And they basically laughed in her face and refused to take the mask. And since then, there's been at least 3 people who have tested positive for COVID-19 because, again, people were running, people were scared, people took the mask off to try to move back and forth. And so we have not even begun to see the amount of people who are going to be COVID positive because of the foolishness of these individuals. And it's outrageous. And again, I'm going to say these are weapons of terrorism, biochemical weapons. You know you're sick and you're going out here. Now y'all know I'm an abolitionist. Y'all keep, I'm trying.
It's a crime, Miracle. Lie. All in jail, Miracle. All of them.
I be trying, but like
all of them. And look, when they go to jail, Miracle, I want them, give them the bologna sandwiches. Go get this man organic food. You're gonna force me pork, but get this man organic food. Yo, white supremacy knows no bounds, man.
And that's kind of the thing. That's
when
kind
they
of the take.
had him carrying that lady down the stairs, the officer and the other officer was pulling water to get whatever tear gas and stuff out the lady's pepper spray out the lady's eyes. I was like, this is some foolishness here. And that's when I knew. That's when I knew they're not going to be treated the same. They're all going to get disorderly conduct. They're going to do some community service, and they're going to go about their day.
Think about this, like, right, how many Black people this year were killed by police in 2020, right? And how many people were arrested at the Capitol? There was 13 people arrested initially, and then how many Black people do we have die? And then this man who gets the organic food in jail, right? If you think about the consequences in the scope of white supremacy, placing in a situation like this, if you want to talk about people being in the wrong place, wrong time, however you phrase it, Botham Jean opened his door and was murdered by a police officer. Open his door. This dude could walk into the Capitol, take part in a coup, an act of terrorism against the state, something that the United States military is sworn to defend, the threats of terrorism, both domestic and foreign. He was able to walk in, leave unscathed, and then make a demand that he gets organic food, not a religious substitution.
We're paying for this.
We're paying for this.
No, he's a shaman. Excuse me, he's a shaman because he has colonized. He has colonized the whole religion. He has colonized the whole religion, and therefore gets to have this organic meal, while actual indigenous people cannot get culturally competent food.
Let me take this to another level. Though. All the shit that they did to the Capitol is going to be paid for by prison labor. All that shit is gonna be fixed. All that furniture, all that shit is gonna be replaced by prison labor. So, as we said before, all of this still affects the most marginalized people in the country, which are Black and brown people, because 2 million people of color, of the global majority, are locked up in the United States of America right now, forced and subjugated under the 13th Amendment to work for 13 cents an hour to build the shit that these white terrorists fucked up in the Capitol. And I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, that's real. I mean, that's real. I mean, yeah, show this undisclosed location. But no, I mean, that was one of the most maddening and sad parts, was seeing these Black people cleaning up. You know what I'm saying? After the damage and all. I mean, there was reports that white people defecated. Oh, this dude loud. I thought he loud. Oh, defecated on the ground and put it on the wall. You know what I mean? I just, yeah. And so then somebody Black got to clean up your defecation. Miracle. Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers should be in jail. Miracle. In jail. That is nuts. Like, what in the hell? And then like, to just go further, we're still looking at possible violence. We're they're talking about from the 17th to the 20th that there was violent a demonstrations planned in all 50 states. You know what I'm saying? That like
Who the fuck is mad in Hawaii? That's what I want to know. What are you
Excuse me.
mad for in Hawaii?
White folks mad that
Excuse me.
illegal lines are still there. Like they want that.
Excuse me. You're incorrect. We talked to the one person in Pittsburgh, and we have cleared him. And so therefore there's nothing happening. And I need you to understand that like everything is safe. We are the livable city because we talked to the one person because there's only one racist person
Pittsburgh is stronger than hate
in the whole city and the whole region. So therefore, there's nothing to be afraid of.
I mean,
And
you know,
the one person.
I just don't. You know,
The FBI talked to the one person, the one individual.
I've stopped trying to figure this out. I mean, like, you know, we know Pittsburgh. If you from Pittsburgh, if you was born, they call Pittsburgh the Mississippi of the North. This is an openly, overtly racist place. I mean, that's what it is. And not only that, but the FBI came out 2 months ago and said, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said, Miracle, what if you wrong? No.
Miracle ain't never wrong.
I'm being facetious.
They actually tweet out that somebody from the mayor's office tweeted out like, yeah, we heard about that violence. The FBI talked to this one racist guy and he said wasn't nothing happening. And so therefore you should be good. Like they actually came out and said this. Not despite the fact that the FBI came out 2 months ago and said Pittsburgh had one of the highest rates of white supremacist activity in the country. And if you live here, from here, spend time here, you know it's an openly racist place, not subtly racist. It's openly racist white people here, Confederate flags here, all that same bullshit. So we're telling Black people to be careful, be watchful, particularly if you've been
be intelligent. Be intelligent.
Yeah, be intelligent. You know, if you don't have to be outside during the 17th to the 20th, be inside. If you
don't wear no one hood shit.
Yeah, right. Don't. I wouldn't wear stuff that might identify you with an organization that's speaking out against white supremacist violence. Not just one hood. It's a lot of other ones. I would be really careful and really mindful. You know what I'm saying? You know, I seen you know, our great public relations coordinator Tamia put Jerry Dickerson's tweets in the chat. You know what I'm saying? An attorney in Pittsburgh who talked about Pittsburgh's apartheid. This is an apartheid state, apartheid city. Like we know this. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that the FBI can say, hey, this is a white supremacist, you know, activities at an all-time high, at a high all over the country, and that we just had the tree of life. Yeah, we don't have a plan. We don't have a plan from the county leadership. We don't have a plan from the city leadership as to what they would do if this happened. But you know, when Black people do some peaceful protest or, you know, do a protest, definitely not to the level of what happened before. Now all of a sudden you got mad plans. Remember when we were just protesting because we wanted to see justice because a cop shot Antoine Rose 3 times in the back, and now all of a sudden y'all wanted to pass a law that we can't protest in the street? A lot of smoke for us. You know what I'm saying? When we be on our peaceful, we want justice for the death of Black people who shouldn't have been killed in the first place, but white supremacists y'all don't got nothing for? This is why they're comfortable living here. This is why Pittsburgh is a hotbed of white supremacy, because y'all talk that progressive shit, but don't do nothing in the face of racism. That's why people are comfortable being here, because they know y'all ain't gonna do shit.
If you look at if you need proof of Pittsburgh's favoritism, separation, and all of that shit, just look at the Toby Keith concerts. Look at how they treat what they did to Michael Santiago and Alexis Johnson just for covering the Toby Keith concerts and calling them into question. Or all these country music festivals and everything they hold down at the stadiums, they mash that up and shit looks like a fucking demilitarized zone down there after these white people get done with it. Like that's proof what's proof to put it in it. Like that's the thing, is like you're going out of your way to charge these protesters for protesting against the treatment of Black people, against the murder of unarmed Black people in this country. And now you want the same type of energy, you want the same courtesy to be extended for white people out here who are literally killing police officers, right? They were beating police officers with the American flag, singing the Star Spangled Banner, murdering people. I mean, to me, it doesn't get no more clear cut of who needs to be punished by the law. Like, but again, this all falls on Black people because of all the reasons. Miracle said this so many times, so many weeks. Black people came out to the polls. Black people are gonna pay the highest price for all of this shit, and this remains true. All this violence that's leading up to the inauguration, Martin Luther King Day right before it, like, it's a shame that we can't even have this weekend right now to sit here and go to the grocery store, nothing, celebrate nothing, because we have to worry about potentially being under attack, just being average Black citizens.
And the wild part
is COVID. People supposed to be home.
Yeah, you're supposed to be at home because of COVID. But also, when you when you mention also, I mean, remember the Pittsburgh police, FOP, openly supported Trump. So that's another thing. Like, we can't even really go to the police.
Nah, man.
Because the police also, I mean, there's been so many reports of how the police infiltrated. I mean, the white supremacists, I don't even know if you even say they infiltrated, because I would call the police a white supremacist organization since inception. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like, now, remember, the district attorney doesn't feel that way. He told us that face to face. I mean, come on. Somebody said, I did just want to post this. Pamela said, stay away from Shaler, Hampton, and Gibsonia because they're not just racist. There's an active QAnon. Yeah, I don't even want to be around you. QAnon. I mean, come on, man. You crazy. My dyslexia took over. I thought that's the Quran. I want to go there. I want to go to the Quran. That's where I want to be in the Quran group. You still say, Alhamdulillah, you get me?
But then
Quran is probably the opposite of
the Quran. Black and brown people in Shaler. There are Black and brown people in Shaler, so we need to make sure for allies and accomplices to make sure you have a safety plan for those individuals. You're checking in on those individuals because the police are not going to police itself. Supremacy is not going to police itself. We know that the officers are white supremacists. We know that there are. And I would just listen to like Sean Monterosa's sisters talking about how they have those various police gangs and they get tattoos every time they kill a Black or brown person. So we know that the police are not going to be our safety. And so what we need for people to do is like to show up and to protect each other, to stay home. It is MLK Day, and the fact that like we can't do a car caravan because we have to think about getting shot like MLK did. It shows you that nothing has really changed in this country. And we really need radical change. And so when you see us out marching or protesting, and you see us demanding Black Lives Matter and demanding policies that suggest and show that this is why. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot. It's just going to be a whole fucked up weekend with people doing some fucked up shit. And then we're going to have Black pastors do not tell us on Monday to forgive. Like, give us a couple weeks.
Say that again.
Give us a couple weeks. No, we do not need to lift every voice and sing as a national anthem. Elders, I love you so much. But right now, this is not what we need. I'm going to need you to talk to your country, reel it on in.
Yeah, this country's not worth it.
No.
It's not worth it.
I don't need to pray for people.
Aren't we supposed to be on a meeting with some elders in a Martin Luther King breakfast? Aren't you and I doing that?
Is that right now?
Yeah. We want you to keep that same energy, Mary.
Wait, is that right now?
No, I thought that was Monday. I thought that was Monday.
Listen, I've been kicked out of church. I know how.
Listen, I'm coming with that energy. They asked me to speak. I'm coming with that energy. Listen.
You're speaking. Bullshit. I'm just attending.
They got me speaking. I'm coming with that energy. Listen, not right now, not never. None of that. No, none of it.
I mean, and really, like, if you have a platform, you should be warning people. That's how the platform should be. Now, did we want to? I know we could talk about this. Did we want to pivot to our Karen of the week? Yeah,
because your talk is in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we get to that. I'm gonna be on Clubhouse in 10 minutes, but that's enough. With some celebrities, that's small. I'm with y'all.
Name drop, just name drop. It's okay.
I'm about to say, just famous for real. Like, just you know how they play them games on Zoom? Like, who's the most famous person you can call? I'm about to link Jasiri the next time, man. Like, yo,
no, seriously.
Listen, Jasiri got me free Puma, and I got a Puma Connect. That's how famous Jasiri. I get free sneakers, I get free clothes from clothing companies, but this nigga was like, yo, you Jasiri's brother? I'm gonna send you something. I was like, word.
And yet here I am with nothing.
Oh damn!
We get Zoom bomb. There's somebody with blonde hair Zoom bombing us. John, get her out the box, bro.
Wow.
But then we want to talk about Soho Karen. And if you want to cue that video up, Soho Karen, was the woman who tackled the young man in the, it was almost like, she was like, I'm a beat Karen of the year. You know what I'm saying? And I would say she probably was, and basically has been not only unapologetic about, what she did, but then had nerve to say that she wasn't, a person of color, so she couldn't be racist. Let's see a little bit of Soho Karen's interview.
On Friday. You seem to have attacked this teenager about the phone, and then it turned out he didn't even have your phone.
Okay, so
that's the thing.
I mean, get to that
you're saying, look,
because
I'm 22 years old. You're 22 years old, but you are old enough to know better.
Oh, the hotel
so I will say you're 22.
Right,
I get it.
No, the hotel did have my my phone. I did get my belongings returned to me. So maybe it wasn't him, but at the same time, how is it so that as soon as I get asked to leave the premises after I had accused this person of stealing my phone, how is it that all of a sudden they just miraculously have my phone when I come back? And it didn't seem as if my accusations really bothered the son and the father, because they were just enjoying a nice meal right after this whole encounter.
It's like you give weird energy and then you're mad about it, bro. You're mad about the response you get. It's like you get what you give, bro. You're out here doing weird shit. So we're going to tell you about your weird ass, bro. Listen.
They needed comfort food because they just suffered a traumatic experience at the hands of your ass. That's why they was having a nice meal.
What? Like, because you attacked them, they can't be hungry no more? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, they came downstairs to have breakfast, and you attacked this man's son. And what, they not supposed to go get breakfast after that? Like,
I throw some hot ass grits on her, man. Fuck up my breakfast. I'm burning.
Yeah.
Don't bring Al Green into this. Celeste and I are going to unionize because clearly we don't get Pumas and we feel a type of way about this. And it's going to be okay, number one. Number two, she feels empowered to do that because y'all black men allow me, I'm getting my Dr. Umar. Y'all allow these women to disrespect you and to disrespect black women because you rather have a peace and have access to whiteness than to actually fight white supremacy. So this woman feels empowered to attack a person she thought was a black man because she really didn't think that there'd be any consequences because y'all allow these Caucasians and Caucasian adjacent people to act a fool in our culture and have no consequences. So maybe this is a wake-up call for y'all to
he's listening.
For y'all to engage and to take some self-reflection.
No,
so that when they come to you as queens, you respect them.
No, I mean, you know what? I mean, clearly, she did not. Right. I mean, I think it's almost like she's perplexed at the fact that she even has to apologize. Like, the video of her tackling this young boy, and she's still acting like she didn't do nothing wrong. Like, what did I do? I didn't really do anything. It's like you tackled this boy, this 14-year-old boy, who now has to go into therapy, and she's like, "Oh, well, I seen y'all having pancakes after that." You know what I'm saying? Well, the hotel did have my phone. Did the boy have your phone? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I mean, to me, again, Miracle, I want this woman in jail.
It's the anatomy of an apology. Sometimes you just type like, "I messed up." I do that all the time. Like, "I messed up. My bad. I won't do it again." I can't sleep at night knowing that I falsely accused this person. No fake tears. She didn't even care. And even her attorney was like, "This is what I gotta deal with." But like there was no empathy, and that's what the problem is in situations. There's Republicans who are out here yelling and screaming. there has been no empathy about what Black and brown people have had to go through these past 4 years. That's why Don Lemon's up here. It sounds like he Malcolm X because he's tired of it. He's been going through it, and there's been like no empathy, no recognition of the white supremacy that we've had to, endure. Like I would have thought that even the mayor would have been like, you know what? Now I see what y'all are talking about. Now I apologize.
Yeah.
This is the perfect, beer gate moment for everyone to come out and be like, you know what? I get it now. I see what y'all are talking about. I now see when they said you're supposed to be shooting Black Lives Matter protesters. They really weren't backing the blue. They really didn't care about police. They really just cared about harming Black people. This opened my eyes, and now I'm doubling down to commit and work to make this area a more equitable place. Y'all could have done that. Everybody could have been on Oprah's bosom crying, and we would be having a different conversation right now. But nobody has, and here we are going to keep doing this bullshit because nobody's going to be held accountable because white supremacy is not going to police itself. It just isn't.
What's so interesting about that is me and Farouk had a conversation with a white dude that was exactly like what you described today.
Exactly like it, man.
Where he actually
niggas started crying.
Yeah, like he actually was like, yo, like I was wrong. Like I see what you all say now. Thank you for telling me like about this. And like just like you said, she could have said she was under the influence. She could have been like, you know what, I'm 22. I had a little bit too much. I was wilding. Like, I apologize. Can I do community service? Like, what can I do to help this family? And you know how Black people are. They wouldn't even wanted to see her. They'd be like, oh, we understand it's a young girl. She don't have to go to jail. But just the fact that you like spitting on us in a way, like looking at us with disdain, the fact that just like you said, these Congress people are like, well, Black people were violent too. Like, so what does that mean? It's like, I mean, it's showing. Your white supremacy is showing so heavy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you really leave us no choice but to, like, we have to organize amongst ourselves. We have to recognize, like, what our true power is. Really, like what Trouble said earlier, bro. Like we really we gotta prepare ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because despite this, it's no real help coming for us. And we gotta begin to, Democratic Party ain't coming with us to no help. You know what I'm saying? Like, the city of Pittsburgh ain't coming to us with no help. I got something that said Peduto was making some announcement tomorrow. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about what's happening with these white supremacists, I don't really want to hear it. We organizing ourselves, kind of like the work that we did. Shout out to you, Miracle, and Ryan and Kahari with One Hood Power. We got to keep building.
I was like, what I do now?
You want to say something?
I'm gonna say, Peduto, knowing him, he's gonna say something. They've had a breakthrough, and announcing more charges against protesters from the summer, something like that. He's gonna completely dance around all of this shit. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I don't see anything progressive coming in the terms of a response to what Black people need and for security and attention and empathy in the city. Like, I don't see that coming out of that administration. I don't see that coming out of the mayor's office anytime soon. It's just going to be further salt in the wounds and insult to injury.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he caused some empathy, like Miracle said. Well, we can hope.
Yeah. Also, very important.
If he does need to make a charitable donation in One Hood and apologize to Kahari.
The Capitol Police had a $50 million budget increase, right? There is so many terrorism police department strategies. We don't need another task force. We don't need more police. We don't need more surveillance. Had they just applied the laws that were already on the books, what happened on Tuesday would not have happened. So don't let any of these mayors, governors come out tomorrow, these next couple of weeks, talking about they need more police. We don't need the National Guard camped out at the Capitol. We need them to show up on Tuesday. Actually, we need them on Wednesday to be the deterrent that they're supposed to be. So we don't need all of this police state, number one. Lastly, if you are in Virginia to the Butler area, if you're in these areas where all these white supremacists went to the Capitol, you're going to get COVID. I'm going to be very honest with you. You're going to get COVID. Please stay home. Please don't go out here, try to engage, try to make people pies and talk to them. talk to people over the phone and Zoom. Do not go out for these next couple of weeks because COVID is going to be running rampant, and there's like 2 new strains that they found that are even more contagious, and these hospitals are at capacity. Just stay home.
And I would say
just stay home.
I co-sign everything you said, Miracle. And I would say just maybe the call to action is to be like, make sure you have like a friend, somebody that knows like where you are, where you're going to be. Somebody has your address and information, just in case something goes down. You can hit that 911, that friend that's going to come. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta really like come together and protect one another. Particularly like you said, for Black people in them areas, man, you should have somebody you can call if these white folks start going, doing what they already did. I can't really say going crazy. They done went crazy. We really need to like hold one another, protect one another in these coming weeks. Our white pages this week is Claudia Rankin, a poet, her book Citizen Conversations, where she goes into race. She goes into, kind of microaggression. She goes into, Trayvon, this history of white supremacy and racism that happens in this country.
We've been canceled officially. That's what it looks like when your budget runs out.
So get Citizen, read the book. Reading is very fundamental.
Oh, damn. They just straight took him out the box, eh?
Yeah. But like if you're on
the box.
but if you're on
yeah, you caught it now, eh? That was funny.
If you're on Clubhouse, Jasiri is going to be on there the next few minutes talking about hip hop and COVID-19, so you can tune in. Tomorrow, we're having a conversation with World Affairs Council and Repair the World Pittsburgh about alternatives to safety and what does it look like to have a safe community without police. So tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. It'll be streaming on.
It looks like the suburbs. That's what it looks like. A community without police looks like the suburbs. Looks like
I would like
that.
for your actions today. I would like a whole fit and a hat because you already owe me a hat. Now I'm going to add a whole fit to include shoes.
Oh.
To include shoes, since you get it for free. On Friday, we'll be having a program because we're participating in a fundraiser to the Allegheny County Rent Relief Fund. So we'll be having a program on Friday. So tune into that to support. And I hope you all stay safe, practice self-care, get some good food. Trouble, do you have any performances or anything coming up?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm in album mode right now.
Ooh. I like that.
Yes, indeed.
Well, thank you for everybody tuning in. It's been This Week in White Supremacy. Jasiri is someplace being more famous than the rest of us. So, we'll catch you out next week. White Supremacy don't ever take any days off, so we won't either. Peace.
Peace.